So a big question that a lot of fans have had ever since Mando Season 3 finished is how did the finale do? Well, it seems as though we now have some insight into Chapter 24, The Return, the big finale of Season 3, which many fans agree was one of the best episodes of the season. We've spoken extensively about how Season 3 didn't live up to a lot of fans' expectations. When I put out a poll to you guys, it was very clear that many of you think Season 2 was better. Well, let's talk about Season 3's finale. As we know, the Book of Boba Fett finale did better than Mando Season 2's finale. Well, it turns out, so did The Mandalorian Season 3. This is from Bespin Bulletin. The Mandalorian Season 3 finale viewership reportedly higher than that of Season 2. But as with all things, there are a couple of caveats. We'll come onto those in just a moment. So according to Samba TV, the finale of the third season of Mando racked up higher viewership than that of the second season, Chapter 16 The Rescue. Samba is reporting that 1.4 million unique viewers tuned into the third season's final episode over the course of 5 days, whereas 1.1 unique million tuned into Chapter 16. This is such an achievement for Mando Season 3, because when Chapter 16 came out, fans were pumped, it was a great season, we were still on the high of Chapter 15, which of course was the Bill Burr episode The Believer, one of the best live-action Star Wars episodes of anything, and remember that was during the pandemic, so a lot of fans were at home. So for Mando Season 3's finale to top that is not an easy feat. Now, as Bespin Bulletin say, and I do agree with them, this news is quite surprising, given the performance of other episodes, given the first episode had less unique viewers than that of Season 2's premiere episode, Chapter 9 The Marshal, and also considering Season 3 had less internet-breaking moments than Season 2. If you remember, we had Bo-Katan, Luke Skywalker, Ahsoka, Boba Fett. It was a cameo season. Now, say what you will about cameos, a lot of fans say, we don't need cameos in Star Wars. Well, the reality is, they do bring hype, discussion, and more than anything, viewership. It's just inherent to fans to want those big moments. Season 3 did have some, don't get me wrong, but nowhere near as much as Season 2 did. Despite the viewership for the Mandalorian Season 3 finale being so high, they still quite don't reach the numbers of the Book of Boba Fett, but it is quite a fine margin. The Book of Boba Fett Chapter 7, that was the one with the Rancor, the Battle of Mos Espa, brought in 1.5 million unique viewers, and that of Obi-Wan Kenobi was 1.8. This, of course, is according to Samba TV, and all of these are beaten by Loki, of course not a Star Wars show, but a very popular Disney Plus series nonetheless. The first season of Loki had 1.9 million unique viewers. Here is the important bit, Samba TV is essentially only a sampling size of what the true viewership is, only monitoring smart televisions, but it does give us some idea of the performance of individual episodes or series. Their stats are usually very consistent with others that come out afterwards, and there are going to be some more insights released over the next couple of days. Samba provides a portion of unique viewers that tuned into a specific episode, in this case Chapter 24, which is in contrast to numbers provided by Nielsen, which shares the number of minutes watched in a certain week, but those numbers contain additional episodes from that season and the series on the whole. So for example, if you watch the finale of The Mandalorian Season 3 on the Wednesday, but also decided to rewatch the entire season the day before, those numbers count towards that week's number of minutes watched. Now, the difficulty with all of this is that Disney Plus does not provide specific numbers for episodes or films. Unless that project performs exceptionally well, then Disney will let fans know and the media know, and that's how we find out. But specific episodes of Mando, we don't have too many insights, and the ones that we do have are still not 100% accurate. In the past, Disney celebrated that Obi-Wan Kenobi was the most watched premiere of any Disney Plus original series, which was also based on unique viewers and not minutes watched. So wording in these so-called victory laps is key. They might all appear to be outstanding successes, but always from a certain point of view. And as I say, it's quite unlikely Disney Plus are going to provide specific numbers for every single Mandalorian episode, and they certainly won't do that for Season 3 because it's been outperformed by both metrics in past Star Wars series. So from a fan point of view, in many ways, it's statistics from folks over at Samba TV, Parrot Analytics, Plum Research, Nielsen ratings, and that kind of thing. Those are the places that share data that won't be entirely accurate, but they are very insightful nonetheless. So as I say guys, do take this as a ballpark figure, nothing specific, and of course, with a pinch of salt. So some awesome news, some kind of win for The Mandalorian, and as fans, we do want the shows to succeed, but also for the creatives to listen to our feedback as fans. I've seen a variety, a plethora of opinions. Some fans loved all of it, others hated all of it, some liked a few episodes, but generally it seems to be the case that fans are in agreement the overall structure could have been better, and they did at times play it very safe. But staying positive going forward, I'm so excited excited for what the next stage of the Mandoverse is. These creatives have a lot of great stories to tell. Rick Famuyiwa in particular really stood out to me as the best director of the entire season, so I hope he gets some episodes of Mando Season 4, and I'm so happy he's directed one episode of the Ahsoka show. Steph Green, who directed in the Book of Boba Fett, also returns. Her episode of Boba was fantastic, so I'm really looking forward to what these creatives can do with the characters from Star Wars Rebels. Some really exciting stuff indeed. And staying on the subject of the Ahsoka show, my dear friends, Rosario Dawson, or Ro as Dave Filoni calls her, has given a great interview with Allociné. She describes what it was like seeing some drawings by Dave Filoni for the Mandalorian Season 2, as well as unused ones that are gonna form the basis for the concepts of the Ahsoka show. Some of those concepts incorporating other elements of the Star Wars story, so when a few people have asked me why I like Dave Filoni so much, it's because he really is an artist. Not just because he draws everything, he conceptualizes it, but also because the man, when it comes to his own characters, be they Cad Bane, Ahsoka, Sabine Wren, Hera Syndulla, Ezra. I'm not going to say Grand Admiral Thrawn because that is Timothy Zahn's, but he knows how to use him in the story. He knows what to do with these characters, and his vision tends to always deliver. We've seen predominantly animated stuff from him, but I do trust the Ahsoka show is going to be great. So let's see what Rosario said.
I remember when I was talking with John and Dave, and they were offering me the role. We were Skyping with each other. Plastered all over the walls were drawings that Dave had done of me as Ahsoka. And he was like, I'd seen that thing, and there was a thing online, and you retweeted it, and it got it into my mind, and we're thinking of a second season with Mandalorian. It's about to drop. I've always wanted to bring this character to live action and thought maybe you could do it, and I've been drawing you, and I'm like trying to keep it together. Like, I'm freaking out, but I'm on camera and trying to be cool. Like, yeah, that sounds Mandalorian. Sounds really great. And then I was able to just run around. Like, I was out of breath. They were like, are you okay? I'm like, I'm fine. But I was jumping up and down and freaking out because it was just so magical, and I couldn't even believe the level, how ready they were. They had made that decision. He had gone, he'd seen my work before, but he really loved.
So the reason Dave Filoni was so ready is because he's had this story in mind for so many years. He's mapped out Ahsoka's story years ago, and we're now seeing that product. So the Ahsoka show does have a lot of promise, and some of those drawings are fantastic. We've seen the one with the Lothwolves, we've seen Captain Rex, who I do really hope is in the Ahsoka show. I know some fans were saying Tamara Morrison did tease that he might have been involved, so that's going to be really exciting. But aside from that, also things like the Bendu. There was so much more story with the Bendu having a conversation with Ahsoka in Rebels. I'd love for that to come into the Ahsoka show. This is the way. But share your thoughts on everything we spoke about in the comments down below. If you enjoyed this video, please be sure to give me a big fat thumbs up, subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you in the next one. May the Force be with you always.